Welcome into another episode of the Patriots podcast. I'm Sean with Ryan and JJ.
Hello. What's up?
Gentlemen, we are in high gear in draft season right now. We're recording on April 9th. The draft is just over 2 weeks away. But before we jump into that, a couple big things happen around Foxborough. Number one, an addition and two subtractions. The addition, Stephon Diggs. We've been screaming at the top of our lungs for a number one receiver for as long as I can possibly remember. Stephon Diggs at this age in his career, is he a number one? Question mark. Guess what? No one else on the roster is a question mark number one. They're all definitively no's. So I think we all have, at least myself, I have to admit that I always rationalize after somebody gets onto the Patriots. I don't want this. And then when they're there, I'm like, oh, this is good. And same thing for when people depart. I didn't want Stephon Diggs. I feel like his antics are terrible. But a wise man once told me that you don't want to make up your roster of everybody that's like a lunch pail, blue collar worker. You need a couple divas. You need a couple people with swag on that team. Okay. So I'm trying to buy into that logic. And obviously he upgrades the talent. I'm trying to buy into that logic that he upgrades a little swag on the team, gives some attitude. That being said, contract's not bad at all. Short-term commitment, long-term security if we want it. Ryan, what's your take?
I like the contract. I mean, it looks bigger than it is. 3 years, $69 million, but I think only like 23 and a half or something like that is actually guaranteed. And I think
even a little less.
It's not big.
And I think most of that is this year, like 16 of it is this year. And, you know, I'm kind of in the same boat with you as like trying to rationalize it. And you know, not a huge Stephon Diggs fan, but I've come around. You know, I'm happy that they have someone that's proven. You know, he's coming off, I think, the ACL. He had a down season. I think he got injured fairly early. I want to say
maybe I think it was after the 8th game. I think he played
8 games.
Okay,
8 games.
So, a little bit older. He's got that injury. Schefter reported he'll be ready by week 1, but that sounds pretty optimistic from everything I've heard. He's kind of left teams in like a mysterious, no one really knows what the hell happened, but it looked like something definitely happened, especially Buffalo, where like they just stopped throwing him the ball completely. A little bit weird there. You know, this is not a massive long-term commitment. So hopefully he's, you know, I don't think they'd bring him in if they thought he was going to be a problem.
I hear you there.
There's guys I probably would have rather had, but I mean, you needed someone, you know, that could move the needle a little bit.
Yeah, so. He was the guy that said yes, and they went after a bunch of people, and no one else said yes.
Yep.
Right. Basically, I mean, you know, Diggs. It's like there were so many options before him, and you know, the money they paid him was, like you said, it was kind of up front, which it seems like happened. You know, Devontae Adams had similar numbers, more money guaranteed. Cooper Kupp had less money, but more money guaranteed, it seemed like. And we thought he was a slam dunk. And, you know, they tried out, you know, Godwin, they couldn't get him. So it seems like they, you know, I have definitely talked myself into this one. When it first happened, I first saw it, I was pretty pissed off because the words coming out of the Patriots organization was they didn't want to overpay for someone that had an attitude and always was looking for the ball. And I don't want to say they overpaid Diggs, but he's probably the biggest attitude of the entire receiver market and is always looking for the ball. And And I feel like that definitely attributes to his, you know, absence in Minnesota and leaving there and then leaving Buffalo. Buffalo has said several times, they made little quips throughout the season about Diggs being gone and, oh, luckily we don't have to throw the ball to the same guy all the time or whatever, hinting at Diggs is gone. We don't have to deal with it. But I've definitely come around on it just because Diggs, if he is healthy, like he is a phenomenal receiver. When we played him, he's absolutely shredded the Patriots for years in Buffalo. He had a couple really top seasons where, he was a top 2 or 3 guy in the league. I want to say, 2020 when he first went to Buffalo through 2022, he was as dominant you could get in the league. He can score touchdowns. He is, routinely got 8, 9, 10, 11 touchdowns throughout his career. So he can be a monster if he's healthy. That's the thing. And we don't have anyone, like you said, Granny, we don't have anyone even close. Is he a number one? He could be. He really, really could be. If his knee's good, he dictates coverage. You have to always know where he is on the field. We haven't had a guy like that, I feel like, in years on offense. Now, if his ACL's bothering him and he can't do that, okay, I feel like he could still be a solid number 2, which is still better than everyone we have. So whether you get a hurt Stephon Diggs or a fully healthy, I would assume he's still better than everyone on the current roster. So definitely talked myself into it. It's exciting to see what he could do, I guess, with Drake. That gives a whole nother angle.
Yeah, exactly. And now your wide receiver core looks more reasonable. You have Stephon Diggs, Kayshon Boutte, DeMario Douglas, and behind them, Kendrick Bourne, Mac Hollins, Javon Baker, Jalen Polk. There's some developmental prospects in there. You have some guys that can provide some stats and some yardage.
With the depth on the roster, it kind of makes it so you don't need a receiver early in the draft too. There's just so many guys there. I mean, you're kind of betting on at least one of Baker or Polk to come good. Kayshon
and then Douglas and Boutte are both on their rookie deals.
Promising.
So you got 4 guys on their rookie deals that are going to contribute.
Hollins was a weird addition. I don't know where he gets in. And Kendrick Bourne might be the odd man out. I don't know, but
I think he's gone
right now. So it's a lot of guys to carry. And then if you draft someone, that's even more. And I know none of them are true number ones. I don't think Diggs is a true number 1 anymore, but he's a good number 2. So I don't know. I think
And we were begging the team to spend money. They spent money, and they didn't guarantee more than 1 year. Even though he'll be on the books cap space wise next year, he's on the books in 2025 for 8.7 million against the cap.
Like peanuts.
Less than Robert Spillane against the cap this year. And I know he's got more guaranteed for next year, but that kicks in if he's good and they want to keep him around.
Yeah.
Great. There you go. Next one, we mentioned 2 departures. First one, Juwan Bentley.
Surprising.
Let go. What I guess they didn't initially report was he failed a physical.
Right.
Yeah.
That was after part of it. So he might get an injury settlement. There might be some money on the books. Maybe they didn't feel like he was going to be able to contribute this year. The timing is weird. Why so early? Maybe they want him to get the chance to catch on early with another team and not have to wait until training camp. I don't know. Longtime team captain. It's tough to remove that type of leadership from the team as you're going through the transition.
And he didn't he just sign a huge deal last year? Was it last year or 2 years ago?
It must have been 2 years ago because it was a very low dead cap number.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So I thought it was a money thing. It doesn't sound like it's a money thing, which is surprising. It's surprising that they bring in these linebackers. They also, who was it that we re-signed for a big money? At
Christian Ellis.
Christian Ellis. Yeah. It's like you re-sign him for what, 6 or 8 million a year?
It's like 4 or 5, 4, 5, 6, somewhere in that range.
They must really like him.
But then you get rid of Bentley. It's an odd move. Is Bentley aging? He was hurt last year. He started the season all right. He's always been a good player. He's never been he's going to make everyone around him better type of guy. He was always just kind of a good tackle. tackler and occasional blitz up the middle. It's just odd timing. It is odd timing. Why not bring him a camp?
Yeah.
But
Do they need that playing time for someone else, Christian Ellis, to justify that contract, or do they need that make that gap in leadership so Robert Spillane can take over that room? I don't know.
Yeah,
I guess.
it's
don't know.
interesting.
It's a weird one.
Their linebacking core has changed significantly since we started the offseason. It looks like they got a lot faster, if anything.
Yeah.
So, and that's one of Bentley's deficiencies. He's not really a move guy. Good
No.
run defender. I loved him blitzing in the A gap. Thought he was really good at that. But and he was a leader, really good guy in the locker room, by all accounts. And I'm surprised they didn't want to cut. Who's the other guy there that we can't stand?
Tavai.
Yeah, I mean, I would have rather cut Tavai, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
They got rid of Taki too, right?
Yeah.
They did. Yeah, that was a fail.
Did we talk about Andrews too? Did we cover Andrews?
No, David Andrews was also released.
Another departure. 3 departures, Sean.
Boy, yeah, David Andrews. That one hurt because I wasn't betting on him to have a huge impact with his injury history and his age. But another guy that a captain, long-term Patriot, comes out as a rookie free agent and starts for a team that just came off a Super Bowl win. I mean, come on.
Yeah,
For a
really
decade, too.
For a decade, and he held it down. He's just, that's an all-time Patriot right there.
He failed his physical and looked like a cheap way out, and the Patriots took the way out. And then they went and got Bradbury from the Vikings, who is, I believe he's pretty good in run fits, but not such a good pass blocker. Actually, quite
Yeah,
a
like
bad
why?
pass blocker.
Why did Minnesota get rid of him or let him walk for not big money at a critical position?
To get an older, and they signed Ryan Kelly for more money, who's 4 years older.
Right, which is weird.
Ryan Kelly's a better player for sure.
Yeah, that's not debated. But what's wrong with Garrett Bradbury that they wanted to get him out so bad?
Yeah,
pass. So it's got to be pass pro. I mean, it didn't look good there. So, I mean, it's a stopgap for now. I still think we're in the market for a center, probably in the draft.
I think so. We definitely could use it.
With Jake Andrews. We haven't heard a peep about him. He's going to have a tough time making the roster. He's been hurt, right? Both years?
2 years, yeah.
So, tough sledding for him, I would think.
Yeah, definitely. And then the last of the departures, Joe Milton. We speculated quite a bit about Joe Milton's value and what we would accept for him. We moved up from the 7th round to the 5th round in exchange for shipping Joe Milton to Dallas.
Pick swap.
Pick swap for about, I think it was like 45 selections from like 240 to 195, something like that.
When he was a 6th round pick last year. Essentially, you got nothing for him.
You effectively got nothing for him.
Yeah.
You got him for what you got. Yeah. And I feel like his status should have gone up. He won an NFL game. He played in an NFL game and looked decent. So it's like, why'd we let it, especially when you hear there's better offers on the table, we let him go to Dallas because he wants to go to Dallas. And now people in Dallas too, in hindsight, they're saying like, oh, Dak Prescott better be careful. Joe Milton's going to be pushing him. Maybe that's why they brought him in. Okay, if they're talking about this guy potentially starting
over Prescott,
how the hell did you ever give him up for not even a 5th round pick?
I don't know if it's true that there were other offers. I don't think so. To me, the thing is the pick swap. Why do you have to give up a 7th too? That doesn't really make a lot of sense.
That's like ridiculous.
And then the timing of it is really strange. Like, why not let him play a little bit in preseason, try to up his value, unless you just think that the game he had against Buffalo was an aberration. And
or you hold on to him into the draft,
dude,
and somebody they get all jumpy. Oh, we wanted nervous. This guy, but he went 2 rounds before we expected. Dallas had no backup quarterback because what's his name? Cooper Rush bounced.
Right. I think
they were desperate. You could have really made them desperate. and we just let him go because we want him to go somewhere. I mean, I don't know.
There's
I
more to the
think
story. There's
I
something going
think
on.
Vrabel must have seen that he was just yapping, yapping, yapping. And maybe he wasn't, but I can't imagine what else it would have been. He's yapping about he wants to be a starter and he can't wait for the competition and this, that, and the other thing. And he's not going to, and them knowing he's not going to start, maybe they just saw the kindling of an issue by week 7 or something,
Well,
like,
yeah, they probably told him flat out, "You're not starting," and that was a problem for him, which is bizarre. Like you should know you're not starting. I
Yeah.
don't know. I don't know. But he is a little bit
Yeah.
older. Maybe he's worried about, I only have a limited amount of time before I'm, 29 and at the end of his
Yeah.
contract.
He's like 26 right now.
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Still a
And
strange one. I mean, Patriots fans were going crazy saying like a second, that was never going to happen. I was thinking a fourth would have
I
been
mean, a fourth would have been nice.
would have made
Third,
sense.
I thought third realistically, if they waited till the draft, made someone nervous.
yeah, do a pick swap. Send a fifth for a third.
It's way more
Fifth
valuable.
and Milton. Yeah,
Yeah.
I would take that anytime. That they signed Josh Dobbs on the second day of free agency. They knew they didn't want Joe Milton in the building.
Yeah.
There's a reason for that.
Yeah.
Which on top of it, another thing, another Elliott Wolf draft pick from year one already shipped out of here. And I know he was a 6th round pick, but you got two quarterbacks. You got a good quarterback room. Like why change it? There must have been that's a defeat on Wolf's part. That's admitting defeat there. Like,
The
yep,
other thing
Yeah.
is they're still going to probably have to bring in a third guy though. You
for
still need
camp.
to you still need to replace Milton. You can't just have two quarterbacks on the roster.
Yeah, probably somebody to the practice squad.
Yeah, but
Uh,
even then you run the risk of, you know,
Losing them.
someone could just be like, "All right, we'll take your guy off
could
your
poach
practice
him.
squad." Yeah.
Yeah.
You might have to draft a guy in order to keep him on the roster, you know?
Watch, they use the fifth round pick on a quarterback.
Oh God, dude.
That'd
Oh my god, that'd be
Fucking
terrible.
be
That
really
would
funny.
be terrible. Maybe a 7th rounder, I could say. Fine.
Yeah.
and whoever
Yeah.
they draft isn't going to have as much talent as Joe
You're,
Milton.
no, not a chance,
No.
So
but could be better. Okay. OTAs started within the last week and they had big time attendance, notably Christian Barmore suiting up, getting out there. Christian Barmore,
Wow.
the biggest health question mark on this team now that David Andrews and Juwan Bentley have moved on. The fact that he's out there in April speaks volumes to the work that he's put in, the recovery that he's done. And he's still got 3.5 more months until training
Yeah.
camp
the
to
Mhm.
thing
make sure he gets right.
right, but what can you do? Like,
About blood clots, I have no idea.
yeah, all you could do is take blood thinners, right? Like, I don't know
I don't even know. Or
if it's
maybe
a
get
recurring
surgery to
thing.
remove it if it's bad.
Yeah, but then
I
it could
think.
happen again, couldn't it? Like,
Yeah, if you don't know what the underlying health problem is, yes, it could. There
So,
could be
he
issues.
looked like he was
Hopefully,
in
they
really,
figured that out. You know.
from what I saw him, I mean, just looking at him, he looked like he was in really good shape.
Yeah, he looks good. He looks the same.
So we'll see. I mean, I still think that whole situation's touch and go. Like, you don't really know, until you know.
Yeah, it's a better sign that he's participating than not participating.
I would.
Yes, for
I
sure,
would say
for
so.
sure.
Yeah. Right. So that's great. I didn't know that. Good
Yeah.
news.
And then Ryan, you mentioned Mike Vrabel and Josh McDaniels press conferences. I've seen a couple of clips of Vrabel, and he is pretty diplomatic, but like still seems authentic.
It's funny.
Which is yeah, he's really funny, which is it's nice to see. But when
Yeah.
he's not afraid to just even talk about the prospects, and he's not like it doesn't seem like he's all cards next to the vest.
No.
We'll see
No.
what happens and this and that. He's like willing to actually speak about it. So I
Yeah,
feel like I
he's
can learn something, but he's also doesn't seem like he's giving away their plans.
yeah, he was
So
talking
he's
about
walking that line.
Will
Yeah.
Campbell's arms, and he was talking about Carter. Maybe not Carter. He was talking about someone else though. So yeah, he's pretty open, and he's got really good answers for everything, and he seems super comfortable. Like as well.
Yeah.
Whereas, I mean, just coming off of Mayo, it was like
Yeah.
I was just like waiting for him to put his foot in his mouth all the time.
Yeah.
Was never disappointed, and that's not happening
Yeah.
at all.
Vrabel's very. He knows what he's saying. He's confident in what he's saying. He is easy to talk to. But yeah, he's really just giving you. He's like kind of talking around the answers in a good way. Like, yeah, he might be there. Yep. Well,
Yeah.
we'll see what. Oh yeah. Oh, that guy. We know he could be there. Yep. Yep. It's like, yeah, there you go. That's good. And then actually adding to the Diggs thing, just listening to him talk about Diggs, I did hear that clip. He seemed to be a huge fan of Diggs' play
Yep.
style.
Mhm.
It felt like that was a proponent of, maybe then getting him over a guy like Keenan Allen or maybe a Cooper Kupp, who I don't know if Cooper wanted to come to the East Coast, but um, he was talking about his physical play style and how he was a huge fan of that and it would always hurt. So it's like, okay, clearly he was on Vrabel's radar. He might have been one of the few guys that was on Vrabel's radar. You think about it, this guy, Vrabel coached in the league for 6 years or whatever it was. So as a head coach, he's seen a lot of these people and he has opinions on them. And I like that. It's like, okay, that's
Yeah.
good. You know what to defend against because you've had to deal with this stuff as the head coach. Like you've dealt with Diggs in the past. You've dealt with whoever. So I
One thing
think
that
I think he's pretty well prepared, it seems like.
Yeah, definitely. One thing that really stands out to me is Mayo, who was already in the building. You get to when you bring in a new coach, you get to bring in the players for off-season voluntary workouts, training camp, whatever, not training camp, voluntary workouts. You get to bring them in 2 weeks early if you have a new coach. Mayo deferred 1 week of that to get like the coaches ready, and he was already in the building. Like
Yeah.
they didn't do that with Vrabel. Vrabel brought everyone in 2 weeks early. It seems like they have a plan in place. They know what they're doing. They don't need more time to get acclimated. They want to work with these guys as soon as possible. That to me is a huge beacon that these guys know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's got a program and he's rolling it out.
He's got a damn football program.
He does.
He
Yeah.
really does.
It's great. Uh, any tidbits from McDaniels? I haven't seen those.
I
He
didn't
was
Those
really
talking
listen
clips
to him.
about how excited he was to work with Drake May and that they're not allowed to talk football ahead
in
of
the
time.
off season like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he was just, commenting on
Which is
Drake getting married
ridiculous.
and how much he likes the kid. And yeah, it is. It is stupid. You're contracted. You're all contracted. Why can't you
Yeah,
talk
you're
football?
on the team. It's not like you're like getting insider information or something, or
That's
you're negotiating with a different player somewhere else.
Yeah, you can't send him a playbook or I just don't
It is kind
understand
of
the
funny.
point of that.
Do you see Drake May hanging out at UNC with old Bill?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
That was pretty funny. Hanging out next to him, it's like, oh, I kind of like to see that. Bill's probably pumped that Josh is in the building coaching him.
yeah.
You know what? Well, last year, it was kind of like he didn't really say much, and Bill Belichick was clearly pissed at Mayo because it seemed like Mayo usurped him a little bit.
Mhm.
Maybe that's how Bill felt or whatever. But now that McDaniels is back, we know that wherever Bill went, it sounded like McDaniels was going to go be his offensive coordinator. Now that he's back with the Patriots, maybe that kind of keeps mending the relationship between Bill and the Patriots. And he saw maybe gave Drake some good tips.
Yeah.
You know,
I'm glad he doesn't hold a grudge against the kid. The kid had nothing to do with it. So I think that's pretty cool.
yeah,
Yep.
definitely.
Well, I'm
Oh,
surprised
David
McDaniels.
Andrews went there too. You see, David Andrews went to UNC.
Oh no,
He
I
went to
didn't
go
see
see
it.
Bill.
Yep. He spoke to the kids. Um,
He seems like he could get into coaching. That
Yeah, I
would be a
can see
good
it.
in for him there.
Offensive line coach, get in there.
I think he probably still has football left. The thing is, I
That's true.
listened to his podcast. What's it called? Quick Snap or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And man, they were asking him about the release. It sounded like he really didn't want to go. And even when Vrabel came in, he was sitting in the front row at his press conference.
Yeah, he was excited for him. That's tough.
His family's based here, so I don't think he really wants to move. But
Well, and at his point, it's like, what are you still playing for? You got the championships. Do you want to go make more money? He didn't make a crap ton
He
of
didn't
money.
make a ton.
He made good money. He's fine, but
right. Well, I also
You know.
think he's been below average for the last few years. So
I'd say the last year and a half, definitely.
there's not a huge market for him. Maybe after the draft when teams know what they have at center,
Right.
maybe call him up. I feel like he deserves another shot somewhere.
Yeah. Speaking of the draft, we're getting close. We're getting
Movement.
pretty close, and
We are
we're
close
starting to
movement.
see some things are solidifying and some things are in flux. So it seems like
Mm-hmm.
Cam Ward at number one,
Is happening.
everybody's got that pegged.
That's it.
After that is where it starts to get interesting. People are staring at the Browns like, where are the Browns gonna go with this at number
Nobody
two?
knows. Classic Browns. Watch them do something out of left field. I wouldn't be surprised. But
Yeah.
You know what's
Um,
what's funny is I've been hearing a lot of talk about Ashton Genty going up like a lot higher than we thought. If he goes in the top 5, he will be the highest paid running back in terms of guarantees in the NFL.
that's unbelievable.
because it's fully guaranteed, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So 36 million is what Saquon is currently guaranteed.
Yeah.
That's fucking insane, dude.
Wow. That's nuts. That's what it used to be like before 2011 and they got the rookie pay scale.
Yeah.
Sam Bradford walked into the NFL as like a top 5 paid quarterback.
Yeah. I remember that. And he was, made no sense.
Jamarcus Russell got paid so much money compared to his peers at that time.
Compared to
Soon
Tom
be
Brady.
peers. Yeah.
Literally.
Crazy.
But yeah, it speaks to how low the running back market is currently. So Cam Ward at 1, Browns, it seems like, is it Abdul Carter? Is it Travis Hunter? I mean, who's the wild card that could sneak up into those top 3 picks?
The wild card is Shador.
Yeah.
I don't think the Browns would look at anyone besides those 3 players. And same with number 3. I think that when you're talking about the Giants,
Yeah.
it's between those 3 guys, and you're really just hoping Shador sneaks up. I mean, the conversation hasn't changed that much. There's a couple guys that are being rumored a little bit higher. Jalen Walker, Armand Membu.
What are your thoughts on Walker, Ryan? I'm hearing his name a lot.
I watched his tape. I didn't love it. I don't really know what his best position is. I know he's young. I know he's a really good leader in the locker room. Coaches absolutely love him. His talent is all there. His pass rushing scenarios when they used him as an edge, kind of underwhelming. You know, he's a talented guy and he's still so young. But I would not.
So you're not sold on him at 4?
No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't think. I would think 4 would be a massive reach for him, but one with super high upside. You know.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's a tough one. He's been getting a lot of buzz around here.
I've heard a lot. Yeah. I mean, it's just crazy that, it's like the guys they're talking about drafted 4 through 7 this year. People are saying like, oh yeah, last year those picks would have been in the 20s.
Well,
Like, oh,
there's
that's
definitely
nice.
a tier with Hunter and Carter.
Yeah.
And then I think there's a lot of people in the tier below that.
There's everyone else.
It's kind of like, I would say, like maybe even Mason Graham is in his own tier. But then there's probably like 10 to 12 guys that could go,
5
6,
or 15.
or could drop to 20.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Sucks.
So
Right?
trading down is the
It's
thing,
like,
but like, who is
well-
another team going to trade up that they really want to get and give up a ton of assets
Which,
for?
it just made me think this is sort of off topic, but last year, if you just traded the future of this first round pick, where could you have gotten? I don't know. But it's like you might have gotten a better player at 24 last year than you could at 4 this year. You know what I'm saying?
I see
Like
what
if
you
you
mean.
use that as a chip to get back into the first round last year, said, hey, here's
So
our
you're
first
talking
round
about
next
trading
year.
3 overall last year?
No. He's talking
No,
about
no.
trading like during last year's draft, trading
Trading-
2025 pick.
Right. And being like, hey, let me move up. And we always think that's a terrible idea.
Well, it's still pick number 4. If you were going to get like number 22 last year
or whatever. Yeah.
versus 4 this year.
I just think someone would have to be in love. Like, it's very easy to say if Carter or Hunter are gone, then you should trade out. But you need a partner, someone that's going to be like,
Maybe someone wants
even if the
Shador
return is
Sanders,
like,
hopefully, or I don't know.
even for a minimal return, it's like, who do you love that much that you would trade up for? I think.
Yeah. When you're looking at it, it's like The drop off after Shador seems pretty steep to the next quarterback. Most people have Jackson Dart there. But then I don't know. Genty is in a league of his own for running back, but who's going up to 4 to get a running
Yeah,
back?
I think
No
Graham
one.
Graham and Genty would be like tier 2, right? And then tier
Yeah,
3 would be like, your
all the
Members,
tackles.
Remember
Campbells,
Walker Campbell? Yeah,
Tyler Warren. Tyler Warren's probably tier 2, but again,
it's a tight end.
taking a tight end or a running back in the top 5, like that's
Yeah, that's a tough look.
Historically, you don't take tight ends in the top 10. It never works out.
Kyle Pitts. When the Bowers
Kyle
went like
Pitts.
12 or something last year, right?
Yep. Yep. He was outside the top 10.
Um,
Kellen Winslow, Vernon Davis. There's not that many, but none of them.
Hawkinson went high, didn't he?
He might have
He
gotten
did.
9.
He was up there. Him, and there was another one that year. Was it Fant?
Noah Fant was in the teens. He was in the teens.
Both the Iowa guys that year got drafted.
Yeah,
high.
the Eric Ebron went 10th to the Lions.
Eric Ebron. Yeah.
See, you name these names at tight end in the top 10, and they're not
And
top
they're good.
performers.
They're good players, but they're not top 10 guys. When you look
They're
at
not top
who else
performers.
is drafted at those places.
Someone had a good point on Twitter. So where would Brock Bowers go this year? And I think it's kind of the same.
He might be. You don't think he'd go like 4th? It's hard with hindsight to take it back, but I will say he was the best. I have him graded as the best tight end prospect I've ever seen.
I think
Brock
Tyler Warren's
Bowers.
a better
Look at
blocker.
that.
Like he's definitely not as good a receiver, but like Tyler Warren is a more well-rounded tight end, I think. But I would rather have Bowers, no doubt.
Yeah, Brock
Yeah.
had yak ability like nobody a tight end has.
No, I don't want a tight end at freaking 4 either. I mean, it's like I'd take the D tackle, D end, Travis Hunter, or
Offensive tackle.
I mean, I'd take Campbell. I don't know. I'm at the point where it's just like, you know what?
At this
Just
point,
take
I'm happy with
freaking Will Campbell, and if that's the best guy, go for it. He's 6'6". He's got short arms. Maybe he's the one time. Maybe he's the one. Maybe he's the one with short arms that can play freaking left tackle.
I think
there are actually
fine.
several in the NFL that have short arms. It's a minority. There's like 5.
Well, his are the shortest. Wouldn't his be the shortest out of 32 starting left tackles?
if you use his combine numbers.
Was it Rashawn Slater that had short arms?
No, I think Slater's like 34.
Maybe he's the one guy to do it. I mean, he's an absolute moose. So
he's a really good player, man. I would be happy with him at 4.
I'd take it and give it a shot. If the guy can play left tackle, you took the best tackle on the board at 4.
Yeah. What's wrong with that?
What's wrong with that? Abdul Carter, if he's there, I'd take him. If Travis Hunter is there, I'd probably take him too. But if they're gone, what are we doing at a certain point?
Well, they can't all be gone as long as Cam Ward goes first. One of those 3 will be there.
One of those 3 will be there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of talked myself. I was high on Campbell, and then the arm thing came out, and I was like, well, I don't know if you could take him 4. He's just a really good player, man. And you play him at tackle for a year or 2. If it doesn't work out, you have a great guard.
Yeah,
and a team captain.
5 guard. Perfect. All right. Let's go for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So that's kind of where I'm at with that.
Tell us about what's going on with the Abdul Carter rumors. He's a guaranteed number 2 overall. Now it's like, I don't know. He might be falling.
There's just rumblings going on that he's not such a good guy. Maybe he doesn't practice the hardest. But nothing's concrete with any of that. It's just kind of what they're saying. Maybe he's just not like a friendly guy. I don't really know.
Maybe he's like a Julius Peppers, Julius Peppers didn't talk to anyone.
Oh, didn't talk to anyone.
Very quiet.
Yeah, I didn't think of him as having a bad reputation.
No. I mean, just like, I don't know. I feel like this shit comes out before the draft. Every one of your enemies tries to like shake something up for you to screw you or something.
What's going on with
when
Tet
you did
McMillan?
wrong?
I mean, Tet, he should be a top 10 pick. I mean, there's nothing on tape that would say like this guy can't play. And now people get prospect fatigue, I think, and like they did find that video where he said he doesn't like to watch football. It's like Tet.
Oh, that's a mistake.
That's not a good thing to say on a camera. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know what the fuck he was thinking there. But other than that, there's nothing. Like,
I know Abdul Carter has been the most dominant, I feel like, prospect throughout this whole draft
Yes.
process. There hasn't been a single question. He is the guy. And now 2 weeks before, like even Travis Smith, there's stuff about his past or his personal life or blah, 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 whatever.
Travis Hunter?
Travis Hunter.
Travis Hunter, I'm sorry. What'd I say?
I haven't heard anything bad about Travis Hunter.
I
No.
did. I was hearing stuff a few months ago about, I don't know, his personal life or whatever. It was
I
odd.
felt
He
like
doesn't have a personal life. The guy is obsessed with football, dude. Like,
I felt like it was the question of, is he going to play offense or defense or
Well,
both?
that I don't know.
That
I
was
heard
the thing about.
girlfriend. There was like something with his
oh, it
girlfriend
was his
or
girlfriend.
something.
Yeah. His girlfriend's a little.
Whatever. I mean, I don't
Yeah.
know. Okay, so but like Abdul Carter, there's been nothing, and now it's all of a sudden 2 weeks before the draft. It's like, oh, he's a mean guy. He doesn't like to practice. It's like, where the hell was that? The football season's been over for 3 months, 4 months, whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Look, I watched that guy play against Oregon in the playoff with one arm and was only lining up on one side so he could only use the other arm, and he was still a force
Yeah.
in that game against two tackles that are going to be drafted this year from Oregon.
So
The
I
only
mean,
thing I could really say bad about
that's
Carter,
toughness.
he's got the shoulder
Yeah.
injury, and he's got a hairline fracture in his foot. That doesn't
Maybe something's bad there. Maybe it's an injury.
That's
Maybe it's
that's
the
it.
old.
That's all I've heard. That's like,
What was it? Daquan Bowers. What was that? Remember when he was top 3 guy and he went in the second round and then he never really played because
Yeah,
just
he never
knee
played.
issue.
Yeah.
And none of us knew. But remember that? It was shocking during the draft. Like
He was
what
in the top 3 on my
happened?
big board.
They
Yeah.
didn't tell us. So
Loved him.
unless that's the Abdul Carter thing, like if the guy has a personality thing or whatever, I mean, but he hasn't done anything bad. Actually, you can't hold that against him.
I need something concrete to knock him
Yeah,
down.
you
Like,
can't just go on rumors and hearsay.
people talk.
Let
man.
him drop to number 4. That's my dream pick.
Perfect. Let's go. That'd be amazing if you
Maybe
got
he
him.
treated someone like shit. You know, maybe
Oh, I did hear something. There was something about him with a tow truck driver. He got
Oh
into
my
it with a
God.
tow truck driver
no
and
idea.
We're
apparently
digging deep.
hit him or something or pulled him out of the car. I don't know.
Oh,
I
you're
don't know.
just
Read about
you're
it.
making
No,
you're making stuff up now.
I heard about it on one of the shows or something. I'm not making anything up. I did hear this. I have no validity if it's true or not.
I think we need to get a stronger legal team if you're going to be talking out your ass like
I can't
this.
say. Whereas like some other players like James Pierce and Mike Green, like you've actually heard concrete things about their character. I'm not going to talk about Abdul Carr. I don't know. All I know is he's really fucking good at football. You know.
So good.
So I mean, if for me, I'm still Hunter first. Like that's just a fucking different player.
I gotta admit, with between the time we did our last show and now, I have
Mhm.
watched a lot of Travis Hunter film, and he's clearly the best receiver. I went like 7 deep on receivers so far. Clearly, far and away the best receiver. And then you put on him playing cornerback, and you're like,
He's the
God
best
damn,
corner,
he might be better at corner than he is at receiver.
Who's better than him at corner? It's not Jahdae Barron, I can tell you that. And Will Johnson doesn't have the speed that he does, and I know that just from watching the tape. But I think Will Johnson's a fucking awesome player. But Travis Hunter, man, he's a
He's
special player, man. I would fucking love to have him on the team,
if-
and I don't even
if
care
he-
where he plays.
Yeah, right. Put him either side. If he just imagine if he played like 80% of the snaps on offense and 40% on defense.
The
Crazy
funny thing
the
about
value
Colorado,
you could get.
Yeah.
the Colorado Pro Day, he didn't do one back pedal, played receiver the whole time.
Mm.
So maybe
I wonder if he's pushing for one or the other.
Maybe he realized he's going to get paid way more money. And like, if you play receiver and are top 5 receiver, you're making way more than any cornerback does.
Not to
Wow,
mention the
especially-
endorsements.
It's not even close,
with Jamar
So-
Chase resetting the market too. Like,
right?
yeah.
I mean, the writing's on the wall. It's like, hey, you want to make more money? Just play receiver if you think you can do it. You know what I mean?
Corner
Plus, you don't have to tackle anybody.
Yeah.
He's picked the 2 best positions. I mean, besides quarterback to make a lot of money. Corner makes a ton of money too. But
They do, but it's still, I mean, you're talking, you could make over your career 50 or 100 mil more at receiver.
Yeah,
You
I
know?
think Jefferson's deals for like 35 a year.
It's like
Chase is going to
versus-
beat that.
What's the top corner in the league right now being paid? Does anyone know? I'd
I
say
think
like
it's Darryl
25.
or Daryl Stingley Jr. just got paid a lot.
Oh, right. You know, remember what it was?
I have to look it up.
It's in the 20s
from the 20. So,
Yeah.
you know, there you go. The difference is 15 million anyways from number one to number one.
Dude, this is going to be such a crazy draft
I'm
from
excited.
4 to 15.
Yeah.
When you
Stingley,
see that just that plateau of talent that's kind of spread around at different positions, it's a little bit concentrated. There's a couple dud positions,
so
but
Stingley got, I'm sorry, 3-year, $90 million extension after his rookie deal.
okay.
They
So
paid
it's
him
kind of like,
early.
yeah. And he was drafted third overall. So that fifth year option is big. It's a big
Yeah.
number. Wow.
He,
Good for him.
yep, he was
He
really
earned
good
it.
last year.
Now we see what Christian Gonzalez is going to get paid.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
That could
right.
that could be an early one too, and it should be. You know,
No reason not to.
Yeah, right.
Damn.
second round. Do you guys have your eyes on anyone? We don't know who's going to be there. We're kind of,
Yeah. I
you
mean,
know,
if they don't get a tackle in the first round, I definitely feel like one of those few guys that might be there in the second round, unless there's like a run on them and late in the first, that they'd get them. Get one of those dudes. There's like a few people you had outlined, Rye.
yeah, I would love it
I
if Josh Connerly dropped to 38 somehow. If we didn't get
Yes. He was on my list.
Campbell, I think that. Well, Nate Tice had a podcast. He brought in his dad, Mike Tice. You guys remember Mike Tice?
mm-hmm.
Of course.
Um,
6'8" monster.
offensive line coach. I think he played offensive line too. Um, he said Connerly was his favorite tackle in the draft,
Really?
which is,
Oh.
and I think he projects as like the most pure. He's definitely a tackle guy in this draft, in the top of the draft at least.
Yeah, I could see that. Everybody else has a little bit of a question. I feel pretty good about Membo, but he's not as tall. I really like Banks' feet, and
And
then
he's played on
Campbell's
the
got
right.
good height. Membo's
Membu's
on the right side, yeah.
Membu's played on the right his whole career, so
Mm-hmm.
it's not a thing you want to switch him. Do it early if you're going to switch him. That's what I would say. But Ursary is a guy I think that I would take a look at 38 if he's still there. It should be still there, I would think. I think Gray's Abel's going to go pretty early, but he's probably more of an interior guy. Wide receivers. I mean, running backs, dude. If Omarion Hampton
Running
somehow
back.
fell to 38, I would absolutely
Yeah, go
love
for it.
that. He's a
Even if
Or
he
someone with
doesn't,
Stevenson.
Judkins. I love
Judkins.
Judkins from Ohio State.
Yeah, he. I wish he avoided contact more than he does, but I mean, he's strong. What a powerful runner, man. North and south. Wish he had a little bit more shimmy to him, but good fucking player. Travion Henderson's another one. Caleb Johnson from Iowa. Caleb Johnson for me
Yeah,
is,
I like Caleb. He's a big dude.
yeah, he's a good player. He doesn't have a lot of pass sets at Iowa, which is kind of just the
Mhm.
way they do things. I don't think it's something that like he can't do. Definitely got to get better at pass blocking. But
I got a
what about,
couple edge players that I like in the second
okay,
as well. What do you think about Nick Scorton from A&M?
love him, love
Play,
him.
played opposite Shamar Stewart, who's got all the measurables in the world, but you watch the tape and Scorton outplays him 80% of the
Yeah,
snaps.
Scorton gets a lot of production. Purdue guy that transferred. Thought he looked a little bit out of shape this past year, but you're talking about pass rush chops. I mean, he's got it.
Mhm.
He's got all the moves. He's a pretty big guy. I love Scorton. Shamar Stewart is another one, same team that could drop. I mean, he's got 3 years, a sack and a half every year. He's got 4.5 sacks or whatever it is to his name. The production's not there. He is the best rated RAS score, which is you know what I'm talking about, relative athletic score
Yeah.
of all time.
Of all time,
Of
oh
all
my
time,
God.
of
I
all
mean,
time for edge
Really?
players. Yeah,
his
he's got a
reach is insane. He's got great height, great speed. Yeah.
270, runs a 4.54 or whatever it is. Like the fuck,
It's just a mammoth.
long
It's
ass
like
arms.
like physically he's close to Jadeveon Clowney.
I
It's
mean,
Yeah.
like that type of specimen.
you give
They
him
don't
to our new defensive coordinator, to Vrabel. I think they figure stuff out with him. Like the talent is there, and he's in the backfield a lot. He just doesn't finish. and like how far away is that? He's still young. I think he's 21, 20.
Yeah, he's
Wow.
young.
So I think there's a lot
So
of
there's some
untapped potential
prospects
there.
there. That sounds pretty good.
Last
Yeah.
name on the edge, Jack Sawyer from Ohio State.
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
solid.
yeah.
A fan of his motor.
Solid. You know what you're getting. He's going to be in the NFL for a long time. I don't know if he's ever going to be an elite guy, but you know, 8 sacks, bunch of run stops, good attitude. He's going
Yeah.
to be, probably a leader on your team pretty quickly. I love Jack Sawyer. I don't
Yeah.
like Ohio State, but I love Jack Sawyer.
Hell yeah.
Wide receivers in the second round at 38, I didn't feel good about.
No,
Like nobody jumped. There's a few, there's like a stack that's going to go in the first round. So it's, do you need to trade up for that wide receiver? And I think they insured themselves against doing that with the Stephon Diggs signing.
Yeah. I mean, they can get a guy in the third round or fourth, or take a
yeah.
flyer on someone random.
Second round, you're probably
Get the
talking.
best damn players. We can't afford reaching to fill a need. Just we have so many holes. Just get whoever they think is the best. Is honestly where I'm at. You know,
Yeah.
get a 5 to 10 year starter for this team.
They're tough to come by.
They're not that hard to come by
In this year's
in the
draft,
first 2 rounds. They shouldn't be.
I really like the top 100 in this year's draft. I think it's pretty good. I don't think it's like blue chip crazy, but I think it's a lot of starters.
We got 4 picks in the top 100.
Yeah,
Which is good.
that's what you
That's
want.
great.
Receiver, a second round. I think you're kind of reaching a little bit on Jaden Higgins. I think he's really good. Big guy, 2'4" or 6'4". I think he's like 219 or something. He's a big guy.
Yeah.
Jalen
Mhm.
Knoll, same team, Iowa State. Small guy, 5'11", 190 or something like that. And then the other one was Jack Besh, who's just a fucking truck. Just strong as an ox, good route runner, catches the ball. He's a good player. Kind of like a running back after he catches the ball too. He's a good player. So corners,
Yeah.
there's good corners in the second round, possibly. Savon
I mean,
Ravel,
I
if he were
can't
to
see
drop.
us get. I'd be shocked if we get a corner.
Yeah. I mean, who else do we have right now? Marcus Jones, Carlton Davis,
We
and
got
Christian
Davis and-
Gonzalez.
I mean,
And then the kids, right? Austin
Yeah.
and
Alex Austin.
who's the other one?
Uh,
Bolden.
Yeah, we still got Bolden. We
do
brought
we
him
still
back.
have Bolden?
Yeah, we dropped him, picked him back up.
Oh, okay.
Isaiah
then that-
Bolden.
The other kid we drafted in like the 6th or 7th last year.
Oh, Dial.
Dial. Yeah.
Marcellus Dial. So I mean, where it's like I could see us maybe spending a late pick if we see someone we like, but
Just hammer the offensive line.
hammer the damn
Hammer
offensive
it.
line. Yeah.
Later in the draft, I'd like to get a true free safety.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah.
I would like
Yeah,
that
that'd
because
be
we
good.
got strong safeties out the wazoo.
Yeah, we
I
got too
know.
many of those players.
A
man.
real free safety.
RJ Mickens, like from Clemson, like a center field type. There's not that many of those guys coming out. Xavier Watts would be way too high, but because I think Xavier Watts goes in the second round. Who else would be good in this role? That's weird. This draft's kind of weird. There's a lot of in the box safeties, man. Makuba, he would be a top 100 pick, I think. Andrew
All right.
Makuba, safety from Texas, Clemson transfer. Had a really good year, man. Ball production's really good. I would love to take a look at him. I just don't know if that's too early for a safety with all your other needs. And I mean, you got a bunch of guys on the roster for safety right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're 3 deep, easy. Love to
Can't
get a
carry-
center.
Can't carry
Gotta
6
get
or
a
7,
center.
right? Gotta
Jake
get a center.
Majors is the guy I'm looking at from Texas.
You get him pretty late, I think.
I think our second, 4th round pick, or even this new 5th round pick, is a possibility. I also want Scattaboo, the running back from Arizona State. Love
Scattaboo.
that dude.
Yep.
Scattaboo. Gotta
player.
love that guy.
Slow. Do you see his 40? Man.
Oh yeah, I never expected him to be fast.
Yeah, 4.64. Like, ooh. I see, like you say, Scatabo. That's cool. I like that, but I think we need that change of pace guy. I think we need that catcher out of the backfield. Even if you get him late, someone like Brashard Smith, former wide receiver, that can catch pass. I don't think they've ever really replaced James White.
No.
No,
and
never.
like It's something we've been lacking.
They tried to do it last year with Gibson, and he was hot and cold in that role.
Facial Tootin is a possibility,
Tootin?
but he fumbles. So you want
No,
another guy with fumble
no,
problems?
we don't. We don't want another fumble problem.
So there's so many good running backs, dude.
I could see us getting one late.
Oh yeah,
Third-
we have to get a running back. We only
Third
really
or
have
fourth
two.
round.
We only really have two running backs. You got to have more than that.
I think like 15 running backs are going to get drafted.
Hell yeah. Especially after the way running backs performed in the NFL last year with Saquon and Henry.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah. There's a handful of guys.
It's coming back for sure. You know, that's kind of the way.
Josh Jacobs had a good season.
Everybody that switched teams.
Everyone that switched teams had a great
Yeah.
year.
Everyone that re-signed didn't. McCaffrey, see never.
Stevenson didn't do good.
Stevenson, good one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Jesus.
I know, right? We should say for the listeners, we will be doing our annual mock draft later on, and we might even do a mock draft or two before that on future episodes. So we are not making predictions just yet, but don't you worry, we will be. We will be in short order.
We're not going to spam them like
every other 3 days.
Every day, you know,
version 8.6. It's like, no.
For my money, and I watch a ton of this shit, I would rather hear people talk about the players than watch them
rank them constantly
or just draft them. You know, like I understand you're doing everybody's team and like it's fun, but when I don't know, I just think it's the market for that is so saturated. Like,
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
you can
who's out here talking about Charles Grant, the offensive tackle from William and Mary?
Oh, I love him.
There you go.
I love that dude.
I fucking love him, dude. Like,
yeah,
fourth round.
Fourth round, yes.
Sneaky. Probably the most athletic lineman in the draft.
Get him.
Yeah, you wouldn't expect it. He's got size.
What's his name?
Charles Grant. He went to William and Mary, so his tape is like...
It's hilarious. It looks like a high school field.
It looks like a high school
VHS
game.
Quality.
But he's fucking dominating, dude. Like, and he moves. He's like blocking some guy. And then he moves over to the gap next to him and helps out that guy. And then comes back to... He's fucking nasty, dude. I just don't know if he's playing against he is. He's playing against scrubs, but he looks different than all of them. Like,
he's not playing against scrubs. He's playing against future doctors who will be wearing scrubs. He's playing against like Johns Hopkins,
fucking Ivy Leaguers.
Yeah, exactly. William and Mary is where Mike Tomlin went and played.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, look at that.
I can't think of a William and Mary player off the top of my head. I'm sure there's good players too.
Probably been a couple.
Yeah.
Yeah. I went deep on offensive linemen because I'm like, give me somebody I can believe in. And you start looking and you're like, kid from BC, maybe kid from Minnesota, Ursery.
Offensive line.
Offensive tackle. Yeah. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Give me somebody. It's just, you can't find the guy who's big and athletic and plays well. You're like, I can get two of the three.
And can stay at tackle. Like, that's the thing.
That's there you go. That's why it's such a hard position to fill.
Cameron Williams which is kind of dropped so far. You know, Cameron Williams, the tackle from Texas.
Yeah, from Texas, yeah.
People were talking about him in the first round. He's PFF's got him 94th now. Super athletic. I mean, I think he had like a ridiculous amount of holding calls. He just is clueless. Yeah. I don't know why he came out. I think he fucked himself.
Right.
He should have gone back to school.
I didn't think he looked good in the playoff. Kelvin Banks looked way better, their left tackle, during the playoff. I read a lot into that when it's so much is on the line. You're playing against some of the best players in the country.
Yeah.
And all the lights are on. The guys that show up in that moment, that means a lot to me.
Yeah, it should. I mean, Cam Williams, how old is he? He's 21. He's a junior. Yeah.
His headshot is great. He looks like he's one of those guys that he might be 20 or 21. Like you could pass for 35.
Emory Jones is another one late. The tackle from LSU. He's right tackle there. He was talked about before, like in summer scouting. People had him for second round, and now he's like borderline sixth round, maybe. You know, talented kid. You know, just not that polished.
Yeah.
Tight end is so light this year. It's like
Really?
you got your first. Well, in the first round, it's good, but we're not taking a first round tight end. I want a developmental prospect at tight end, and I'm not finding them.
I love
Please
it.
enlighten me.
I love the tight ends in this class, dude. Elijah Arroyo, Mason Taylor, Harold Fannin fucking went absolutely ape this year. I think he set records for tight end production. But when you see him play I was watching
Oh
him
yeah,
Senior Bowl practices, man. He is not an inline tight end.
oh yeah. He's 230 pounds. Played Bowling
Yeah.
Green.
He did not look good there. Gunnar Helm is a serviceable player for sure. Jackson Hawes, late, is the best blocking tackle in this class, or blocking tight end in this class by far.
That's what I want to hear.
All right.
I love.
I went to my
class.
usual tight end schools. I'm like, okay, who's Notre Dame got? Who's Iowa got at tight end? And it's like,
dude. Mason Taylor is probably going top 50.
oh, from LSU.
From LSU, yeah, it's
Yeah.
Jason Taylor's kid.
Oh shit!
Oh,
Actually,
all right.
you know what I saw? Jason Taylor married Zach Thomas's sister, so his uncle is Zach Thomas and his dad is Jason Taylor.
That's ridiculous.
Unbelievable! How does that kid not get drafted by the Dolphins?
He's
They
good,
must
too.
take him.
They
He's
have
fucking. He's rocked up. The kid's chiseled. Arroyo,
to. I mean,
fast.
Jason Taylor is always known for being probably one of the best in shape guys in the league.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Never took a playoff.
all these guys. I think I draw the line probably around Mitchell Evans. I don't know what happened to him at Notre Dame this year. It just wasn't the same production. Riley Leonard is not a good passer, so that probably hurt him. But
All right.
I like
All right.
Nicholas.
Well, thank you. Thank you for putting that perspective. I'm gonna have to take another look at Gunnar Helm here and Mason Taylor.
Look at Arroyo too.
I did watch Arroyo. I wasn't a fan, but
Really? Okay.
I don't remember why. We still got 2 weeks. I got some more homework to do. Don't bite my head off, James. I see you wanting to.
Yeah, right. Because I know who these guys are.
Very good. Anything else we want to hit on the draft before our upcoming mock drafts?
You
Deeper
guys
dives.
crushed it.
No, we could talk about it more, I think, when we get into the actual mocks.
Hell yeah.
Did you guys see Vrabel's rules he installed?
Oh, I love rules. Hit me.
All right. Number 1, no hoodies in meetings. No hoodies up.
Oh, okay.
Love it.
No headphones.
No cell phones in meetings or the weight room.
Oh,
Be on time or call if you're going to be late. Love it. Respect all training, equipment, and kitchen staff at all times. That's it.
That's
pretty
it.
good.
Wow, that's pretty solid.
Punctual.
Only training equipment, not training staff.
Training equipment, training staff, equipment staff, and
Okay.
kitchen staff.
Kitchen
Got
staff.
it. Okay.
Yeah.
The staff in those areas. That's good. You don't want a giant 10 Commandments plus list. You want to shorten
that's
to the
good.
point.
Call if you're going to be late.
Yeah.
Be
That's all.
on time. Respect people. It's good.
Take your
And stay
hoodie,
focused.
take your hood
No,
off.
yeah, no phones.
No phones. Take your hood off. Pay attention.
Yeah.
No
Easy
sleeping.
enough.
Well, it doesn't even say no sleeping.
Well,
But
that's reasonable. That's reasonable. I mean, I don't know what Mayo's rules were, but
it's probably way too much.
Pretty sure he didn't have any.
it was either way too much or none.
Yeah.
It was one of the extremes.
Very good. All right. With that, we will wrap it up for this week. Thank you all for listening. Please subscribe, rate, and review to support the show. And we got more coming your way soon.
All right, guys. We'll see you.
Adios.